Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. So in today's video, we're going to be building the infamous full house home. This build was inspired by the new Growing Together pack, which is based in, or the world is called San Sequoia, which is supposed to be San Francisco. And this is like one of the most famous houses in San Francisco and, you know, in television ever. So I was very inspired by the new pack kind of being about family and being based out of San Francisco to build this house, because I mean, really, what's more of a story of growing together than Full House? I don't think there really is one. So yeah, that's why I was really inspired to do this. And I know the style of housing that came with Growing Together was Craftsman, which I love too. I'm actually super excited that they did that. I don't know, when I think of San Francisco, I generally think about these Queen Anne or these Victorian row homes that you kind of assimilate with the city itself. And I'm sure there's Craftsmans in San Francisco. I've never been to San Francisco. I've always wanted to, but I've been to other parts of California. And I always think about like Craftsman homes being like kind of like more of a Southern California thing, like the classic like California Craftsman bungalow. That's something that I always think about. But yeah, so I really wanted to do a Victorian style home, long story short. And yeah, here you just see me doing the exterior. So now the home is actually in San Sequoia. It's on the 40 by 30 lot. I did take down where the Robles family, I believe. I took them out and I booted them. I'm sorry to do it. And it was a really nice home that was there previously, but this was the lot that I liked the most because when you kind of look outside the window, it has that hilly kind of look that San Francisco, from what I've seen in movies and television and pictures and that, has that kind of hilly look. So I was very inspired by this lot. And now I'm just kind of getting some like, you know, landscaping features and whatnot coming up. I wanted this to look like it was on a city street. So I really dug through city living debug and just a bunch of debug. I know I've said it in, you know, my last couple of videos, but I do play on console. So I don't have like those really nice filters that you can get for debug. So debug it's kind of like not the most fun for me to dig through, to be quite honest. I don't know, I equate debug with kind of like going to the grocery store. I hate going to the grocery store because it's just so big and like there's just too much stuff inside grocery stores, I feel like. And that's how I feel about debug. There's so much stuff and I feel like I just really got to get in and get out. Otherwise I'm just gonna get stuck there forever. And yeah, sometimes I do spend like 30 minutes just digging through debug trying to find like hidden gems. And yeah, debug, it can be a dark place. Let me know if anybody here has a similar feeling about debug. So now I'm on to the interior. So I'm doing that really famous, it's like those little like enclaves. I don't know if that's the proper term for it. It's like one of those nooks where they had Joey on the first season. That's where he slept. Now in this build, I don't put Joey there. I put him down in the basement / garage. So he will not be sleeping there. That will just be a nice, pretty place. And yeah, you see me not at this point using a lot of items from the new pack, but definitely as I go through, I start putting in a lot of new items from Growing Together, and I actually have enjoyed this pack more than I thought that I would. Initially, like when I was looking at the items, there was some that I really did like, but like overall, I was not blown away by the items, and a lot of other builders that I watch on YouTube were reviewing it as well, and they didn't really seem too blown away by the items, so I went into this with kind of like lower expectations, but honestly, I really like the items. Like the items that they do have are really good quality, and I don't know, it just feels like it kind of like rounds out my overall collection in the gallery, if that makes any sense. Like, I don't know, it feels like a perfect addition to what I already had in the game. Granted, I really think they could have given us new kitchen counters. Like, I will always want more kitchen counters. But overall, like, I love that couch that I'm just putting down. I love the sconces. I really love the new bathroom stuff. I love the wallpapers that came with this. Again, I always want more wallpapers. I can never have enough wallpapers. But yeah, I'm actually really happy with it. And then as far as the gameplay goes, I've been really enjoying the gameplay too. I have a lot of different families that I play with, even some that like I don't really do family gameplay with. I've even just given them kids just to really get into this pack and find out what it's all about. So yeah, I'm really enjoying it. Although one weird thing is that, I don't know if anybody else is experiencing this, but have any of your like NPCs been dying like more randomly since you've gotten this pack? Because for me, it's been crazy. So I have this one family that I play with all the time. They're kind of like my main family, and they are, you know, they're a little wealthy. They got a butler and they have a maid. And within the span of just like 2 sim days, the maid and the butler just both randomly died. The maid froze to death outside. And I was like, okay. And then a day later, the butler bites it too. He like drowns in the pool. And I'm just like, what's happening? Why are all these NPCs dying? Yeah, it was so weird. I don't know. Let me know if this has happened to you, because it's really bizarre. I've never had this many NPCs die. Now that's all for now, thank God. I actually haven't played with that family since the butler died in a little while. I had to step away and be like, man, this is getting really dark. Like I can't see all these Sims dying all the time. This is disturbing. So yeah, I'm not the type of person that kills their Sims for fun. I like to keep my game nice and light and happy. I don't really like to have too much like death and stuff in my game. I mean, if it happens like out of nowhere, it's not really a huge deal, but I don't like to like try and kill Sims. I did when I was younger, but now that I'm older, I just like to make it as light and happy as possible, because it's kind of like, you know, my escape from everything going on, you know, in life, because life is stressful. But anyway, getting back to what I'm actually doing in this build. So here you can see me finishing out the living room, and I'm just adding a lot of, you know, little knickknacks and whatnot just to give it that character. This living room was really overwhelming to me at first, because when I first built it out, it was huge, and I was like, God, I don't know how I'm gonna fill this space right, because I wanted the living room and the kitchen to kind of look like it does on the show. Granted, I can't make the whole house look like it does on the show, because then the exterior wouldn't match the one that you see, you know, in real life. Because if you didn't know, the Full House home is actually a real house in San Francisco, the outside of it. The inside of it is obviously a set for a show, because it's not, you know, it's a show, it's a sitcom. But yes, but I tried to at least make the living room and the kitchen look as much like the real thing on the show as possible. And I think I did a really good job. You know, I wanted it to be more updated too, obviously. I wasn't gonna make it that like awful late 80s, early 90s design, which definitely was not my favorite out of all designs. I remember living through it, it was awful. A lot of like dried flowers. That's what really sticks out to me, and oak cabinets during that era. But yeah, I wanted the house to feel updated, not too updated though. I still have some areas in the house that look like just a little bit outdated, because that's kind of a realistic house, even a really nice one. You're gonna have some rooms and some spaces that aren't completely polished and like completely modernized. So that's what I want to convey here. I want to give it just like some realism, you know? Not that this house is real. It's not a real house. It's based on a television show, but regardless. So yeah, now you see me just kind of going around finishing up the kitchen with some knickknacks and whatnot. And I love this kitchen. It came together really easily after I did it for the 3rd time. I did it 3 different times because I just was not happy with it. This is why I wish they would have given us new counters, you know? New counters would have just been so lovely. But regardless, the ones from Parenthood work really well in this one as well. But you see me now just going around. I skipped past it. I didn't include it in this video, but there's a little pantry off to the side of the kitchen there, which is how they had it on the show too, although they had a door leading outside from that little pantry area, if I remember correctly. And I didn't do that because I have another entry and I was just like, I don't know how, I left it out. I don't think it's a huge deal. So yeah, I'm just going around placing a lot of knickknacks, and we got some really, really good clutter items with this new pack, which I'm super happy with. I love that lantern that I just put up there. Yeah, they gave us some really cute items in this pack, and yeah, I'm definitely a really big fan. I've seen a lot of mixed feelings on it. People being like, this should have been added to the game eons ago. This is too late. I'm a late bloomer when it comes to The Sims 4, so to me, it's fine. But yes, if I had gone several years without this kind of gameplay being added, I probably would be frustrated. So I definitely get why people are like, this should have been base game added, years ago. And I get that. And I'm like, yeah, that's valid for sure. But I still am really happy with it. And then you see me now doing the bathroom on the main level. This is just right off the living room, and I'm using a lot of those new items that we got from the Growing Together pack. And I don't show all the bathrooms that I did in this house, but I do show a few because I actually really love the way some of these bathrooms came out, especially DJ and Steph's bathroom that I do upstairs. That one turns out really, really good. And now we're up in Danny's room. So Danny's room, I want it to be very clean, very, put together, because on the show, he's a huge neat freak. I don't know. I want it also to have like a little bit of a feminine touch. Like this is kind of how his wife had it before she passed away. So I wanted that element in there as well. And I love the way that his bedroom turned out. I think it turned out really, really, really cute. You'll see I put this really big bookcase with the desk in the middle, and I make it kind of look like a little built-in. And it's just, yeah, it has a great vibe going through it. Definitely kind of like a collegiate vibe going on. But on the show, I don't even know if he really mentions college. I can't remember. I haven't watched the show in a really long time. I can't remember if he mentions going to college on the show, but I just wanted him to look as much like an overachiever as possible based on this room. So I put degrees just everywhere for him and a little family photo, and because, he really prioritizes family, which is very understandable considering what, they've been through. But yeah, like I said, I haven't watched Full House in like years. I haven't watched it in quite a long time. I remember Full House was such a huge show. I think like when it was out, I was pretty young. I think it was like, I don't know. Well, it came out in '87, so that would have been 2 years before I was born. So I didn't really watch it from the beginning, but I do remember it being on TGIF as a kid and me being pumped, and there was nothing standing between me and TGIF and Full House. There's just nothing could get in my way, and it was a big deal. I would watch Full House, I would watch Family Matters. I want to say Boy Meets World later on was on TGIF. Step by Step, I want to say, was also, I don't know, I can't remember exactly. I could Google it, but nah. So yeah, I loved TGIF. So I have very fond memories of watching Full House, and I can still remember some of the characters and what their qualities were and stuff like that. Definitely like the three, men, so Jesse, Joey, and Danny. I definitely remember their personalities quite a bit, but the kids I couldn't remember exactly. I just remember Steph was kind of like a Snoop is what I remember. And I remember like DJ like being like really popular. I don't know if that's correct or not, but I don't know. In my child mind, I thought she was like really popular and cool. I love DJ. So yeah, I tried to inject as much of their personalities into the room as possible, without rewatching the entire series. I did watch some of it actually when I started this, and I was like, wow, I forgot that this show's actually kind of funny. But yeah, it was fun to rewatch some of the episodes of Full House and just see the inside and, you know, just get inspiration for the build. But anyway, getting back to what I'm doing here. So I'm working now on baby Michelle's room, and oh yeah, I actually made all the characters too. I made them all in CAS, which you'll see towards the end of this video. And I think I did a pretty good job. I'm not gonna say like I'm an expert at CAS, but like I'm decent, I guess. And you'll see them at the end. And if you go to my gallery, you'll see them in there too. So if you want to download the house and the characters, I have them both made. So, and I gave them their little personalities, and I assigned their family dynamics and everything like that. But of course you can change those if you want. But yeah, I really got into this one. And so now I'm working on DJ and Steph's room. So if you do watch the show, the two sisters, DJ and her sister Stephanie, or Steph, they share a room at the beginning of the show, like right after their mother passes away. But then later on, I want to say DJ gets her own room. And then when baby Michelle grows up, it's Michelle and Stephanie that share a room. But I made DJ older in this, and I made Steph like a kid. So in their room, I kind of want to give like DJ the bigger half because she's the older sister, and Steph just has this like tiny little cute corner of the room here. And, you know, baby Michelle, I want to keep a baby, and then I wanted to have Joey in the basement. But that's not how it goes on the show. So people who are watching this who happen to maybe be diehard Full House fans and they're like, that's not the right configuration. That's why I just did it for artistic purposes. I'm not trying to do like a, you know, a historical recreation of the show or anything. So, and now I'm working on their little like desk area. So I took two of the dining room tables, their base game dining room tables, and I just smushed them together. And they do have that little like overlapping glitch thing going on, which I'm not a huge fan of. But it's, you know, it's a cute little space, and that's the best way that I know of to make it work. So I think it turned out really cute. And I'm just putting lots of different little clutter items and making it look, you know, nice and lived in and nice and girly and pink and fun. And I love the way their room turned out. I remember watching the show as a kid and loving that bedroom. And I wasn't able to recreate it like perfectly in this one, but I was definitely able to get it, you know, the feel pretty close because it has that big bay window and the beds are kind of like on either side of it. I really like the way it turned out. But now we're moving on into the bathroom that's right off their bedroom. And this I wanted to have like a little bit of that outdated feel. So I used that pink tile from Growing Together, which I think has like a little bit of an outdated look to it, but in a cute way. I really like it. And then I'm also using a lot of the bathroom clutter kit items as well. I put light switches everywhere in this house, by the way, too, just to add to that realistic factor going on. But I love, this is my favorite bathroom, which is ironically the more outdated bathroom, which like in real life, if I walked into a house and I saw a bathroom with pink tile, I would be like, I'm probably gonna rip that out. But in this little bathroom in The Sims, it looks super cute, I think. So here we're moving on to Jesse's room, and his room definitely has like a very like masculine kind of musician thing going on because he was a musician, and he was like, I think I remember Jesse being kind of like a ladies' man, at least in like parts of the show, because I know later on he like gets married and has kids and he lives in the attic, but I think at one point he's a ladies' man. I don't know, I might be wrong, but yeah, I make his room just look very like, you know, single guy would be here with all the band posters. And that's no CC artwork, and it doesn't flag it as CC. I know it because I've tested those specific ones. So anybody who's playing on console, you'll be able to download it and find this build with no problem. Yeah, now I'm moving to the basement, and funny story about the basement is I lost a lot of the footage, and I lost it because I wasn't paying attention. I'm gonna be honest, I wasn't paying attention. I was just kind of lost in the build process, like I was just really into it. I don't know if that happens to anybody who builds in The Sims, where you just like get super engrossed in it and just like time and space kind of disappear around you, and it's just you and your build, and you're just doing the build, and then before you know it, it's 10 p.m. You're like, what happened? So that's not quite what happened here, but similar. So yeah, I didn't realize that my computer was full and that I wasn't recording. So anywho, you see me now kind of finishing up the basement, but that living room that you saw me kind of adding to, and the little like sleepover area, and there's a little kitchenette off of it. So that I unfortunately did not capture, but you kind of see a little bit of it as I go through and add some different knickknacks. And now we're moving on to the laundry room. And this is like a long, kind of like utility room. Again, honestly, really realistic. I think you would definitely find this in a real, like, old Victorian home. Although it would probably be a lot creepier than this, if we're being honest, because if you've ever been in a basement in a Victorian home, it's truly terrifying. I don't think you want to go to a basement of a Victorian home. I unfortunately have had that mispleasure of going into a basement of a really old house, and it's really creepy. They don't look anything like this. So this one was redone at some point. That's why it's, not incredibly creepy. And I didn't put up any cobwebs because, I wanted it to be clean, because Danny on the show, he's a neat freak. He would never allow a bunch of cobwebs and stuff to build up. That's not his character. So now you see me doing this little utility room. I love the way this turned out too. So this is just like me having a ton of space in the basement and being like, what am I gonna do with this huge space? And I was like, oh my God, I'll do a utility room. Like, they would totally have a utility room where they keep, old decorations and boxes and different supplies, and I even put like a treadmill down here, like an old treadmill that nobody uses anymore, just to add to that realism factor, and some like skis and like winter apparel. And I think it turned out really cool, and they can actually use the treadmill in there too. So if you really want your Sims to use a treadmill, it's down there and it's functional and everything like that. So yeah, I love this whole thing. And then off of there, another room that I didn't capture when that whole thing happened with me not realizing that I wasn't filming is Danny's room. And Danny's room is kind of like off the driveway area, so it's kind of like he's living in the garage. And I love the way his room turned out. It's just like a total like guys hangout kind of space. And I tried to put like lots of different sports references and stuff because Danny was like super into sports, and I love the way that turned out. Now we're doing the backyard, and the side yard. The side yard turned out super cute. I was really happy. I managed to cram the treehouse back there too, and it is functional. I did have to make some adjustments. So what you're seeing on camera now, it's actually, there's more space around the tree later on. And so after I play tested it, I realized that not more than one sim could build on the tree house. So I had to kind of move stuff around and make the area around it bigger, so that way more than one sim could work on building the tree house at once. Now I'm just going through and doing like a little garden area. I did a little area with the new swing set and the new slide that we got if you bought the game like early, which I'm not a big fan of that whole get these items if you buy the pack early, before it goes on sale, like an early adopters bonus. I'm not really a huge fan of that, because what if you don't start playing The Sims until later, I don't know. I think it's just kind of like punishing newer players, in my opinion, when they do that. So now I'm just going around and decorating the exterior of the house, you know, adding some drain pipes, some trellises, some little flower boxes and whatnot, and just making it look nice and realistic and lived in and everything like that. And here we are doing the characters in cast. So I just show a few of the characters that I did. I didn't put all of them here on camera, but I'm doing Jesse right now. Jesse turned out good. He's definitely given young Jesse vibes. And now I'm doing Joey. And Joey, I'm not super crazy about how he turned out. I think I did Joey kind of dirty. I don't know. He looks like a little heavier than I feel like he should be. I think I made him a little too heavy. I'm sorry. But I don't know. I mean, you know it's Joey looking at this, but I don't know. I think I could have done it better. I'm really happy with how PJ turned out though, or DJ turned out. She turned out super cute. And I made Steph and baby Michelle as well, but I made Steph and I made Michelle from teens and then aged them down so that way I could get the features. So when they age up, they will, you know, represent their older counterparts. So now the clip should be rolling, but I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please remember to like and subscribe, and I hope you guys are just having such a great day, and take care. Bye now.